Hi, everyone. Lisa Myers, the Business Owners Advocate, where I work with the trade industry and startup businesses to create a solid foundation so they can go out and make money and succeed. And so today we're going to talk about, again, your business setup and the vital steps it really takes to make sure that you are successful in business. We talked about setting up your entity and making sure that that's set up correctly. And so today we're going to talk about vision and mission statement and why that's so crucial. I've gone to different businesses and talked with employees. And one of the questions I'll ask an employee is, so what is the vision for the company? And I remember I was going to a company that was a wellness, it was a spa. And so I asked all of the management, what their vision was and, and kind of the mission. And if they also knew what the growth plan was for the business, some vital questions. And when I sat down, and basically they really didn't. And when I sat down with the owner, she says, well, it's here in a book, well, having it in a book does not necessarily make a difference for the company. When you go to a company, you might go to a corporation and so forth, and they'll give you all this information and you'll sign it off, or maybe they'll have some trainings and you sign it off and they think, okay, we're set. Everything's done. Everything's good. But really, if that's all there is, it's not going to work. I remember working at a gym, Lifetime Fitness. And the mission statement and vision was on the walls so you could see it. But not only that, is that you would have some of the top management come and ask you, what's the vision? And you would have to know it. So they were having the staff would memorize what the vision and the mission statement was in case you ever got asked. So one of the things that about that is that, first of all, you want to convey your vision and your mission, not only to your staff, but you also want to convey it to the public so that they know what you stand for. You want your audience, your customers, your staff, everybody to become what you call brand ambassadors. And you want to inspire them to take action on your behalf, that they love your mission statement or they love your vision and they tell others about it. So we need it to be simple and concise and be able to understand as well. And so what is the difference between a vision and a mission statement? Well, first of all, a vision statement is a document that states the current and future objectives. It's something that you're moving towards, right? A vision, moving towards. It's a guide to make decisions and alignments. It's a philosophy to make goals. It's a roadmap to where you're going. So anytime you take on certain projects, you can ask yourself, is this within the vision and the mission that we're doing, or is it taking us off onto a different path? And it helps you to keep everybody into that same focus. And like I said, you need to be concise. It needs to be clear. We want to have some time horizon, not, one day we're going to do this, because then it may never happen. It needs to be challenging and inspiring. And it also needs to have some emotional impact. You need to have buy-in. Right? People want to come work for you because of what you stand for and what that looks like. So we want to make sure that it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's activating so that you can activate as well. So one of those things that you want to make sure is, what are your core values? What are things that you stand for? Honesty, integrity. I love where Shanda Sumner that I work with, she says that it's people before profits. So every time, I know, companies that every time you call and that, like working for legal, that you're paid by the minute, and it's not about relationships. And everything nowadays is really, truly about relationships, building those relationships. What is your purpose? Right? Why are you in business? What does success look like to you? What is, and what type of structure and what type of business are you? What about your competition? What makes you unique to that? How do you stand out? And you also want to be having some measurable goals that you're moving towards. I Googled and a couple of them was Sweet Green, was to inspire healthier communities by connecting people to real food. right? Nike's vision to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. So it's very easy, it's very concise, and and you can memorize it, right? So when maybe, like Sweetgreen, when they're looking at different foods, food groups and so forth, and they're never going to serve processed food. They want real food. So then they can look at, okay, so what is real food when they're creating their products and so forth to sell. And so it really makes it important to know what that vision statement is. One of these is just empower. Empower. What are some strong emotional words that you can use? I was working with a company this weekend, and what they do is cooking classes. And so it's I bring about better community, better families through the art, through the cultural art of cooking. What does it look like? How does that look like for them? And so really getting to understand what your core values are. Define some of those core values that speak to you. When that speaks to you before you even show up. People know who you are, right? And that you should have that no matter if you're in business or not. So find some of those emotional, impactful words that can be used. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you'll find out a resource that is incredible. So then what's a mission statement? A mission statement it's a short statement of why an organization exists. Why are you in business? What are you doing this for? To help people. Who are your customers? Are you working with customers? Are you working with businesses? Is it a market? Are you providing services, or are you providing products? So what is the overall goal? And it ties into that vision statement. So kind of your mission, if you will, it's like, how are you going to do it, right? What do we do? Whom do we serve, and how are we going to serve them, right? And so that kind of gets a little bit more definitive, if you will. And who's your geographical region? Is it everything? Is it the United States? When I got into business, again, I had no clue what I was doing. I had this small salon, 90 days out of cosmetology school. And how it came about was I was working there, and this gal was talking to her clients, and this is dating me, but back then it was the shampoo sets, and they would come in every week. And she was saying how this was her retirement salon. And she just kept saying that over and over again. And so I talked to her and I says, when you get ready to retire, I may be in a position that I would love to buy your salon. And she's like, are you serious? I says, well, in a couple of years, yeah, I might be in that position. Now, mind you, I didn't even have any clients. Because just being out of school, I was still learning. When you go to school, you learn how to do the trade. You're not taught how to do business. And so that was probably, I was about a month out. And then she came back the next month and she said, my husband's been transferred out of state. Were you serious about buying your salon? My husband had never even been there yet. That's how, how new everything was. And I says, well, yeah. And so we put a loan on our house. We got and to get the money. And I remember my husband saying, we better never lose this house because of your decision. And so I felt overwhelmed. I did not know, I had no clue. She said that she was going to give me a list of all of her clients. And what she did was she gave me just one sheet with their name. No address, no phone numbers, no way to get in touch with her clientele. I didn't know how to negotiate the lease. I was taking over a lease. I didn't know what that looked like. And I was completely out of my league. I had no clue what I was supposed to be doing. And so anyway, so this is why I'm so passionate about helping businesses, because it costs me a lot of money. And a lot of problems happen. But I stayed in business and I stuck with it. And that's one thing I can say is that, I was in business for over 25 years. And, I loved and had clients with me for 23 years, which was unheard of. And so I was very proud of that. But a vision and mission statement. I remember a gentleman coming in to the salon, and he was one of my clients, and I says, for 2 bits I would sell you this business, and he says, instead of me buying the business, why don't I just come back and talk with you? And the first question he asked me was, what do you want to be when you grow up? I had no clue. I hadn't even thought about. Didn't even think about asking that question. This is where that vision and mission statement comes in. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I kind of flippantly said, well, I want to be the biggest and the best. And he's like, okay, so what does that look like? Is that a 10 chair salon, 100 chair salon, 1,000 chairs? Do you want to have salons all over the United States? What does that look like? And what is best? I can say, well, I've got the best hamburger. I've got the best, best car. What does that look like? And who determines what that is? And so I had to sit down and step back and kind of start asking myself. And he truly helped guide me through a lot of that. So this is part of what that vision and mission statement is what do you want to be when you grow up? What does that look like? And how are you going to do that? So I love this is identify some successes that you've had. And it doesn't even have to be in the business that you're in or that you're thinking about going into, but some of the successes that you've had. What are those core values that you've had? Identify contributions. So how are you going to contribute to society? How are you going to contribute to humanity? To the business, to the, all of those things, and identify some goals that you want. So again, with Sweetgreen mission statement is our mission is to inspire healthier communities by connecting people to real food. And we know that Sweetgreen is a critical link between growers and consumers, and we feel a responsibility to protect the future of real food. So this really gives you a little bit, they're working with growers, consumers, and they're that link. Right? So they're bringing that food to market, if you will. Nike's mission is basically do everything possible to expand human potential. Right? And I love, the one tagline they have is just do it, and that to inspire people, just do it. And so, these are just some questions again to ask. So again, create emotional impact. The goal is the audience needs to remember you and your company and what you stand for. And so we're going to go through, I love this headline analyzer. And what you want to do is get 50% or higher. And you go to this link, and I'm going to do a new share, and we're going to go to this link for just a moment. And just put in there, and you can have so much fun with this. And so basically, this is a great place to put your tagline. This is a great place to, create that, business owner's advocate. I'm just going to take a chance because I didn't do this. Of course, I learned about this after. But let's see what it says. And then you just click submit for analysis, and hopefully it's going to give me some, and what that EMV is that emotional impact. Hopefully I've got enough. Let's see, did it work for me or not? Not sure. Let's see, what did it give me? You entered. Okay, let's go back and see. Of course, there's always learning. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Again, well, I'm not sure that it has a lot of impact. That's always good to know. So let's look at taglines, right? Let's say, and I may not have enough words. So let's see. Creating a strong foundation to make money and succeed. Okay, so 44%. Okay, so then let's go in and maybe look at changing that a little bit. So go back. I'm getting closer. Whoops, what happened? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Leave. Okay, let's take you to everything that I have. Okay. Okay. So anyway, that wasn't greatest. For some reason, my thing closed. But going to this, let me see if we can fix this right now. Here we go. Going here and just having some fun, I mean, hey, I'll be honest, I'm still learning and working on this, but and I can do some more work on it, so I can definitely always change my tagline and just creating that emotional impact. So I love this. So just have fun with your company. Again, I worked with a company that has a cooking school, and she was able to create 100% on the headline. And it was like, okay, so impactful. And to use it. So I would invite you to, as you're setting this up, it's so much easier to set it up moving forward than it is like for myself to come back and change things up. Have fun with it. And, before you put it into, stone. And here is another one, the character count. The object is to keep under 100 characters on like your name and your tagline. And even when you're working with, a vision and a mission statement, if you might have a little bit longer, of course, but if you can get it really concise, like what Nike and Greenhouse had, it'll make it a lot easier for people to remember and to be motivated. Hey, you know what? And so basically, like I say, Lisa Myers, business owners advocate, and I really do. I work with companies and startups to help them build a strong foundation so they can go out and make money and succeed. And one thing I did was on this one was I used the character count tool. To keep it under 100. When I started, I had this great big long thing, and I was able to keep it down and keep it concise. And what's nice is that when I go out to networking, I can share that really quick and easy. Now I need to just figure out a way to make it a little bit more emotionally impactful. And so again, I hope that you learned some things today. And if you have any questions, you can reach me here. I'd love to work with you and talk with you. I offer a free 1-hour consultation, just a kind of a strategy to see where you're at. And whatever I can do to help, I'm always here. So Lisa Myers, the Business Owners Advocate. You have an amazing day. Thank you.